Today, we're diving into a story of destruction that's, well, it's unlike any other. It's about how Rome, the greatest city of the ancient world, wasn't brought down by fire and sword, but by an idea. An idea captured in an epic poem that literally killed a city. So think about that for a second. It sounds like a riddle, right? How can a city possibly fall to ruin when its walls are still standing, its temples are untouched? That's the paradox we're going to unpack. And the key to this whole mystery? It's hiding in a 2,000-year-old epic poem called the Pharsalia. It's this absolutely brutal, vivid account of the civil war between Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great. But it's so much more than a history lesson. It's this powerful argument about what a city, what a nation actually is. Okay, so to even begin to understand how a poem could destroy Rome, we have to ask a more fundamental question. What was Rome to the Romans? And it turns out it wasn't just one thing. It was two completely separate, super important concepts. First up, you've got the urbs. Now, this is the easy one. Think of it as the body of the city, the physical stuff you can touch. The stones, the marble, the streets, the Colosseum, the place you can literally point to on a map. That's the urbs. But then you have the civitas. And if the urbs is the body, the civitas is the soul. It's not a place, it's the people. It's the community of Roman citizens, all bound together by their laws, their traditions, their shared government. It's the idea of Rome. And here's the crucial part. You can have the urbs without the civitas. And what you're left with is just an empty shell. And that brings us to the moment this whole thing kicks off. It's January 49 BC. Julius Caesar, fresh off his conquest of Gaul, does the unthinkable. He marches his army across the Rubicon River and he points it straight at Rome. But here's where the poet, Lucan, does something absolutely wild. He doesn't describe this as a Roman general coming home. No, he frames Caesar as a foreign invader, a barbarian conqueror, just like the scariest enemies from Rome's deepest nightmares. And you can really see why this was so terrifying to them. The Romans had this deep ancestral trauma about being invaded. The sack of the city by the Gauls back in 390 BC was burned into their memory. They told stories about Hannibal showing up at the gates. And what Lucan does is he puts Caesar at the very end of this timeline of horrors, basically saying, this guy, he's one of them. So think about it. What happens when citizens believe a barbarian conqueror is at the gates? They run. They flee. And this is the first act of destruction. Caesar doesn't have to burn a single building. The very idea of him, the story Lucan tells about him, causes the civitas, the real soul of the city, the Senate, the people loyal to the Republic, to abandon the physical urbs. The idea of Rome has just fled the place called Rome. So, what happens to a city's soul once it's left the body? I mean, where does the Roman Republic actually go? It goes with Pompey, and this quote from the great orator Cicero just nails the thinking at the time. The argument from Pompey's side was essentially that the Republic is portable. It isn't defined by the stones of the Forum. It's defined by the principles of free citizens and their government. They believed they could leave the physical city behind and still be Rome. And out of this, a whole new concept is born, the Armata Urbs, which means Rome under arms. Suddenly, Pompey's military camp, now packed with all the senators and citizens of the exiled civitas, becomes the new mobile Rome. The real city isn't on the Tiber River anymore. It's wherever Pompey's army pitches its tents. So now the stage is set for this final catastrophic showdown. You've got Caesar's Rome and Pompey's Rome on a collision course. The exiled city, the Armata Urbs, has to face Caesar in battle. And this brings us right back to our original riddle. If the physical city of Rome was never sacked by Caesar, where and how was it truly destroyed? Well, the answer isn't in Italy at all. It's on a dusty battlefield in northern Greece. Okay, so here's how it all goes down. Before the big battle, Caesar promises his men the ultimate prize, the loot of Rome itself. So they fight, they win the Battle of Pharsalus, and then his soldiers charge, but not toward the city of Rome. They charge toward Pompey's camp, and they plunder everything. But in Lucan's telling, this isn't just looting a camp. This is the promised sack of Rome. They're tearing apart the Armata Urbs, the last refuge of the civitas. This is the moment the real Rome dies. But for Caesar, destroying the old republic wasn't quite enough. To really cement his new power, he had to do more than just win a war. He had to rewrite the entire story of where Rome came from. So after this huge victory at Pharsalus, what does he do? Instead of going back to the physical herbs for a victory parade, he takes this strange detour. He sails over to modern-day Turkey to the desolate, ancient ruins of Troy. And this is a hugely symbolic move. And this right here perfectly explains the unfounding of Rome. You've got to remember, their origin story, the hero Aeneas flees the ashes of a burning Troy to go to Italy and found a new city, Rome. Caesar does the literal opposite. He stands on those exact same ruins and vows to rebuild Troy, to create a Roman Troy. He is symbolically reversing the journey. He isn't founding Rome, he's unfounding it. He's flipping the whole story on its head. In that one moment, Caesar is basically taking a pair of scissors and snipping the thread that connects his new regime to its Republican past. He's making it crystal clear he's not here to fix the old Civitas. He's declaring it dead. And in its place, he's building something brand new, a Rome born not from hope, but from his own tyranny. The original Rome is gone, forever. And that leaves us with this really powerful, kind of haunting question. What Lucan's poem seems to suggest is that a nation is more than just its land or its buildings. It's the story it tells about itself. So if you fundamentally break and rewrite that founding story, can you really say the original nation survived at all? It's a question that was just as potent 2,000 years ago as it is for us today.